Welcome to Going the Distance, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host, and with me, as always, is Katie. Well, I should say as always. Most of the time.
When I'm not gallivanting around the world.
I know. So Kyle couldn't be here today, and you're not going to be with us. When do you leave?
In a little over a week. On the 31st, I leave.
Yeah, we're going to get one more recording in with you before you go, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone that's in our Discord channel. We've got a couple people with us today. Louise is with us and Donald's with us again. Thanks, guys, for joining us on Discord. I'm telling you, if you want to join the discussion live and watch us live and get all the jokes that don't make the airwaves, things that will get Ryan canceled. No, I'm joking. Well, I'm not joking, but I am joking. I'm always joking. Come to our Discord. You can watch us live and you can chat and say stuff during the recording that people will hear on the podcast feed. So all these other sterno bums that listen to this podcast on their iTunes, they don't get to participate like the people in Discord. So Discord is free. It's live. You can join the chat. If you want to donate to Patreon to help out the feed, to pay the cost to this big enterprise that Ryan has created, check out the description below. But I think it's just Google Going the Distance Patreon at the very least. But the description is in every episode as well. Now, here's some news, Katie. Katie knows this, but I left Facebook.
I do know this.
Yes, okay.
It's a hot action.
Yeah. The only action in my life is the hot action I have is leaving Facebook. People are probably asking, to their phones or whatever, Ryan, why did you leave? Okay, there's no real big reason. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. I'm not saying anything revolutionary that people haven't experienced on Facebook. I don't care about 99% of the people on my feed, their life. I don't care about the politics. I don't care about COVID talk anymore. It's exhausting. And it's just negative comments. I find the most comments on public feeds are negative and confrontational, or it's just not fun anymore. Now, that's not me being soapboxy. It's just that's my experience. But the straw that broke the camel's back was, as you know, to my 5 listeners who listen to this podcast that actually interact with me on the Facebook group Going the Distance Rocky Series podcast, like Louise, for example, and Katie, of course. I got banned from my own group from posting in any groups. I can't post in the Rocky Minute group. I can't post in last. Apparently, I broke a spamming rule, according to Facebook, which I don't remember doing, or I don't know what I did. I do share my podcast to other groups, but I've been doing it for 5 years. To like 3 other groups. If that's spamming, then I guess I'm guilty. They don't say what the post was. They don't say what group it was. They don't say who reported you. So I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done with Facebook. So I say all this that for those few listeners who do actually interact with Ryan on Facebook with this podcast, hit me up on Twitter. Just Google Ryan Rebalkin. You can find me on Twitter, or Going the Distance, the Rocky Series podcast on Twitter, or just send me an email at gtdwithrr@gmail.com for the show or for Ryan. Or you can still hit me up on Messenger, Ryan Rebalkin on Messenger, and if you have comments or something you want me to share on the show. I say that to the few listeners that actually do interact with me on Facebook, that you won't see me there anymore, and that's why. But Katie is the admin, or one of the admins to the group, so you can definitely interact with her. Kyle never talks to anybody, so there you go. There you go. I know it's long, but I wanted to get that out there for the people that do follow the show that way.
Yeah, important news.
Yeah. Breaking news. Well, Katie, how was your week?
Good. You know what I was thinking today? I was like, we're recording. It snowed again.
Oh, wow.
And it snowed last time we recorded. And I swear to God, the only time it snows here is when we record. There's something voodoo about it.
That's weird.
But it's, good week. Trying to do a bunch of stuff in advance for work. So the next couple of weeks will be really busy. But good. How was your week?
Good. I'm officially on holidays again. Like I did like a bunch of duty watches in a month, but now I'm on like 6 weeks of leave. So yeah, get to chill at home, do some podcasting.
6 weeks.
6
nice.
weeks. Yeah. Hang out with the family, clean up the house a little bit, organize, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's good. How about the kids, of course, all that good stuff. So, yeah, before the last half of the year gets busy again. Yeah, well, we do have some emails. Speaking of the email, yep. Katie, we got a couple big ones. That's what she said. What have we got here?
A couple even.
Whoa.
Wow, that's unusual. Okay, so this one is from Hector. He says, I don't know how many times you guys have mentioned Black Panther, but enough times that I feel I need to watch it now. I like to sit and watch bad movies like Manos, The Hands of Fate, or The Room. It drives my wife crazy, but I think that's why I like it. I just look over to see her face when certain bad moments are about to happen. I don't think I've seen Michael B. Jordan in anything else other than the Creed movies. Oh, he was in that awful Fantastic Four movie that I couldn't finish watching.
It was probably awful because of him. No, I'm joking. People think we just hate Michael. Okay,
I'm unfamiliar with that one.
Well, yeah, it's a terrible action comic film. I'll say this about Michael B. I don't like every actor. There's not. How could you? How can you like every actor? I think he's just one of those actors I just don't like, but he happens to be in a franchise that I love. So that's the conundrum.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Antonio Tarver. Look, Antonio Tarver, he's acted in one Rocky movie, and Michael B's acted in two. So you know what I mean? So really, I've got two different actors here. In theory, what I'm saying is people can be in your favorite franchise doesn't mean you think they're the greatest actors in the world. That's all. But Michael B is actually an actor. I just don't think he's very good at it.
Yeah, I think some people, that's to be debated.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine. Like, he's not wooden. He's not completely whatever. Like, he looks the part. He's got the physique for these films. He definitely has a following. People do love him. I just don't get the connection that some people have with him. He is better. We've said it, and I want to make that clear. I like him better in Creed 2 than Creed 1.
Yep. But Hector goes on to say, some movies are so bad they're good. Some movies are just awful. I've tried my best to really like Adonis, but he's not written in a way that makes you want to root for him. It's almost like you start liking him, and then he does some jerk stuff that turns you off to the guy. He's like the Kanye West of the Rocky franchise. Hey, that is a really good analogy, actually. I like that, Hector. Then he says, Victor Drago, on the other hand, he's the guy I want to see more. He's more of the Rocky than Adonis is. I would agree with that as well.
What's his name again? Florian Montano?
Munteanu.
Thank you. He's great. He's got some natural charisma. I keep meaning to talk about it every time we bring him up, that he was in that movie Shang-Chi, this Eternal Seven Lord of the Rings movie or whatever. Anyways, the movie's actually pretty good. Florian's in it as a baddie. He's a baddie who kind of turns, well, spoiler, he kind of turns goodish at the end, you'll see. It's really cool to see him kind of in a role. I mean, he's definitely got the bad guy role figured out, so it'd be kind of nice to see him in a not a bad role. I thought he would get more movie opportunities than he's been given, but anyways, he's in that movie. It's a big Marvel movie, so hopefully that gives him more exposure.
Yeah, I really enjoy him as well. Action movies, it seems like there'd be more opportunities. I mean, he is just so physically striking. How many roles are there like that? But so Hector brings up a good point about, he was like, oh, just when you're starting to root for Adonis, like he'll do something jerky to make you not like him. We might as well just call this show, or my portions of it, the Ray Donovan podcast, because I'm like obsessed with it. There's a character, like one of the main characters in Ray Donovan is played by an actor who I hate.
Oh.
I do not care for John Voight. He plays Mickey Donovan. He plays the dad that is like a shit dad. Like he f***s things up all the time. But he's so amazing in this show that I end up rooting for him. I don't like John Voight, and he even does things that constantly that make it hard to root for him, but you do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
And he's a great father to Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, well, he plays a terrible father in the show as well.
Oh, but, so he basically method acted his whole life.
Yeah, yeah. But sorry, listeners. Those of you who watch Ray Donovan will like my Ray Donovan. Getting back to Hector's email, he says, a little story here. 2013, I was in the best shape of my life. I was huge, plus I was cut up. Very hard to do when you are natural. I was wrestling in American shows and lucha libre shows, working a full-time job while still performing about 2 to 3 times on weekends. During a match, my opponent slammed me incorrectly to the mat, shattering my right clavicle. Bone fragments floated around, and as I reached to feel what the problem was, it felt like a bag of broken eggs.
Ugh. Gross.
Oh, man. I was having an out-of-body experience as part of me was screaming in pain and the other was trying to figure out what the problem was. I eventually got to my feet and didn't realize I had severely broken my clavicle until after the ref counted to 3. I had won the match, but I stood there knowing it was all over. The match came out on TV. I still have it recorded on my DVR, but still can't watch it. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be, oof. He says recovery was rough. Because of my previous addictions, I didn't take my Vicodins. I can't imagine how.
I'll take them for you.
I was just going to say, I will absolutely. You got those left over. I'll take them.
Man, if I could take drugs illegally, and I don't, for the record, in case anyone from my work is listening, if I could, I think Vicodin would be the go-to. I just wanted to feel like just dandy all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think that's how people get addicted to it.
Sure,
Ryan, but,
sure.
Yeah. He says, always in pain, always grumpy. I did a lot of what Adonis did. And maybe it's because I'm older, I can look back and say I was a complete jerk. It doesn't matter if I was in pain. It doesn't matter that all of my hopes and dreams vanished in a blink of an eye. It doesn't matter that I felt emasculated, less than a man, and good for nothing. If I would have just taken the time to look at my family's pain rather than focusing on my own, I could have seen that even broken, they needed me. I wasn't the only one going through personal struggles. My family carried my pain as theirs. Boy, that sounds like a line from a Rocky movie.
It almost does.
Yeah.
Here's the conundrum. Hector is a good person.
Yeah.
From what I can gather from my interactions with him on social media and his letters or emails to us, he sounds like a good-hearted, good-natured, humble, hard-working person, where Adonis is a dick. I know that's the way his character's written, but we're talking about a movie.
Yeah.
That's the whole point here. So I think that, again, that's what makes him unlikable. So if Hector was in the Adonis role, or the characteristics of Hector were in Adonis, we wouldn't have had, he would not have acted that way in the hospital towards Rocky or to his wife or his trainer. He would have been like, oh, man, I'm okay, guys. I really got my ass handed to me, but, we'll get through this. And maybe I should listen to those who know better. His body's broken regardless. And so Hector's saying his body was broken. If I understand him correctly, he's saying he was broken. He was humiliated or embarrassed, but he didn't take that out on his family or his loved ones.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Hector, but I think he's saying he was acting like a dick.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I missed the first part. My apologies. Well, Hector, you're a dick.
But with age, he's able to look back on it and recognize that he was being a dick and that his family was going through it with him and that...
Oh, I missed the first part. My apologies.
Yeah.
Okay, so, that being said, Hector's a good guy.
He is.
And Adonis is young. He's young. Well, he's 28. He's 28 in this film, even though he was 31.
34. I don't know. And so I don't know how old Hector is, but I was going to say the same. Sure. Adonis is young, so same thing. Sylvester Stallone has admitted to a certain way when he was
younger,
young and on top. Yeah.
We joke a little bit for the show, just so people don't get mad at us or write at us. And so we ham it up a little bit regarding Adonis, but yes. We get it. He was humiliated. He was upset. He's angry. He's young. Going back to Hector's email, yes, as you get older, and we're all the same way, I'm embarrassed about some of my behavior when I was in my 20s. Absolutely. I'm 46 now. To say that I acted accordingly in all things in all places in my 20s would be a lie. Of course not. I'm embarrassed by some of my behavior, of course.
Too bad youth is wasted on the young. I feel like I say that more and more now that I'm old.
Oh, you're not old.
Okay, so Hector, sorry, we're going to eventually get through Hector's email. It's a great email, Hector. He says, my family carried my pain as well as theirs. When I finally started realizing I have the downtime to spend at home and be a father and husband, things got way better. You never see Adonis own up to anything, never apologized. Rocky being Rocky, he doesn't need to hear it. But it doesn't mean you don't have to say it. You offended a man, a father figure, more than one time. And all he can do is smile. You got a cute smile, but it ain't that cute, homeboy. That's a good point. Adonis does have a really cute smile, but it only goes so far.
Right.
Anyway, I'll end it here before I say something that'll get me canceled. And Katie, I can't wait until you get to season 4 of Ray Donovan. Please let me know what you think of my performance.
Huh?
Wait a minute. Okay, so first of all, I've already watched the entire series and the movie. Season 4. Oh my God, Hector, were you one of the wrestlers when Bunchy and his wife go to that audition? There's a character whose wife is a wrestler. Yeah, you'll have to let us know.
Well, here's the thing. Hector's listening to this episode on his iTunes right now. He actually joined our Discord, so he was that close to answering your question live. But unfortunately, he's not here in the chat. So we'll have to wait for his next email to answer that question for you, where he was in the in Ray Donovan. So that's cool.
That's cool. Also, it might have been around that season that there's a super awesome dog in the show. Don't
give me more. Louise already said that he's going to watch the show, and I want to watch it too now. So.
Oh, you guys haven't? Okay, yeah. I'm a giant dog person, and there's like this really awesome dog in it.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, that's a great email, Hector.
Thank you, Hector. Favorite wrestler.
Okay, the next one is from Melissa. Hi, Ryan, Katie, and Kyle. Another great episode, guys. I wasn't able to join the Discord this time because I was out and didn't know about it until late, but I will definitely try to join it next time. Where's Melissa?
Melissa, fail.
She says, I think that Adonis, Michael B., did a good job in this part of the film, better than most of the scenes before. And I agree with you guys that as an actor, he has shared the screen with some great actors that could make it harder for him to shine. When I watched this film, I have always thought it was like they meshed Rocky 2, 3, and 4 together and added some new things. 2, because he's being taunted into the rematch and starting a family. 3, because he basically lost the fight and comes back to win after being taunted. And 4, because of the Drago family being involved. I'm looking forward to the next episode with the Drago family celebration dinner and everyone's thoughts on that. Yes, LOL at Ryan's take on pregnancy and birth. Your gagging about it all just cracked me up.
Thank
See,
you.
we bring all sorts of mess to this show.
Yeah, I like to think so. And I've said, Creed 2 is not, or even the Creed films aren't necessarily, some people don't even like them. Some people don't view them as Rocky films. So those who, I think we've lost some listeners who joined us for Rockies 1 through 6. It's okay because they just don't want to hear us, but they're missing out. So tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your neighbors that the Creed 2 discussion is, we talk about the film, but there's a lot of Rocky talk and side talk that has to do with the universe that, anyways, they're missing out on, I think, some good stuff. And we talk about breast milk. So it's everywhere,
Katie goes on and on and on and on and on about shows that she's watching.
Yeah, that's great.
Maybe we should start a new segment.
Oh, boy. Can you imagine? No, we probably would lose listeners if we started just turning into a Ray Donovan podcast.
Random. No.
Oh, yeah. So thanks, Melissa. Was that it from Melissa? Not it, but was that the end of Melissa's email?
Yes.
Okay.
Till next time.
All right. Thank you. Melissa, you're awesome. Again, join our Discord for live chat. Send us an email. Join us on Twitter. And you can still join the Facebook group. I'm just not there. But Katie's still there, too, of course. So join us everywhere. We're still around, and we'd love to hear from you. Okay, well, let's get into the Creed 2 coverage. Since we're talking about Creed 2, this is it. This is the big supper, the big meal with the Dragos. Right away before I hit play, Katie, do you see those cars outside the house or the mansion there?
I do.
Fancy. I don't know anything about cars, but they look like they're all very expensive sports type cars. There's money to be had here. It seems like the Dragos, at least Victor and Ivan Drago, they don't have money, but they're at a place that definitely represents money.
Indeed.
So I'll translate. We are very proud of you, says the speaker of the scene.
За тебя, Виктор.
To you, Victor.
Ура!
Victor.
Пусть твой успех
May your success bring glory back to Russian boxing.
вернет былую славу российскому боксу.
Well, so it's a fancy, very fancy, extremely large. They look to be in some sort of private, I don't know if this is a home, like a personal residence.
I think it might be a resident, but it's a mansion. It's huge.
Yeah, and it's a really huge table. It's got all the glassware, dinnerware, everything. It's a very fancy dinner. There was a person giving a toast, and then they cut to the Dragos, both Victor and Ivan. And Ivan has a suit on, but Victor's in his athleisure wear at this black tie seeming dinner.
Well, there's two things. We know that a special guest is coming, so I wonder if Yvonne is dressing up for that appearance. And Victor, he don't give a you-know-what.
They're invited as honorees to whomever's house this is. Like, hey, we want to seemingly invited back, to Russia. I guess they're no longer in Ukraine. They're in Russia.
It seems that way, yeah. Well, they're talking about Russian boxing. This is where I get a little confused. I know there's, and Louise did point this out on our Discord, that there is, of course, conflict between the Ukrainians and Russians. So
right now, there's a ton, but
yeah, or even then,
yeah.
I would suspect even then. I don't know the history of it, and people can certainly Google the history if they want. We're not here to teach the history on that. I'm certainly unqualified for that. But the beginning of this movie, the Dragos were in the Ukraine, correct?
Yes.
Now they're talking about Russian boxing. So I don't know if it's just an American writing, not really understanding the two conflicts, or it really is Russians hosting a couple of Ukrainian boxers. I don't know.
The way that I take it is, in Rocky IV, it was the Soviet Union. So it was all under one umbrella. Mm-hmm. Russia was, I don't know if it's the main country, right? And then
geographically it was the biggest, at least, yeah.
I just assumed that they were the reigning country. You fight for Russia. So Drago, whether he's Russian or Ukrainian, I don't really know, but they were booted to Ukraine after his big defeat. So it was such an embarrassment.
They were exiled in a way.
Kicked them out. Yeah. The way that I see this is they're invited back because they're seeing Victor doing great. I don't know if it's in the Ukraine or Russia. I just kind of am making an assumption that they're invited back to Russia. You would think that Yvonne would be like, look, son, dress up.
Yeah.
Like, this is an important dinner.
No, that didn't happen. Donald wanted to remind us that anybody can change. It fixes all countries' conflicts. So,
Yep, this is true.
yeah.
Прими вот этот дар.
Please accept this gift. The person, I guess, who's hosting this event, we're not too sure who he is, but he is now giving a nice wooden box to Victor. And it looks like Victor's maybe got a girl or some sort of girl on his left there. I wonder if that's like the cheap redhead from the front row.
Maybe.
You see that?
Yeah, I don't know if she's with him. I think she might just be another guest at the dinner.
I think she's a
or maybe
gift. I think she's a gift.
a gift.
I think
Okay.
so. I
like
think so.
Polly's cost more than $400 or $350. What did Polly's
$250.
woman?
I think it was
$250.
I
Okay.
think, yeah. Then I think she tried to up the price at the event. I can't remember. All right, so he holds up some boxing trunks. They're sharp-looking boxing trunks with the Drago last name, just like the Creed has his on his. So sharp-looking trunks there, and the people clap. I don't know if I would have clapped, but I don't know. Yay, look at that. Somebody put letters on boxing trunks. That's pretty impressive. Russia, that's, we can spell here. I don't know. They were pretty impressed by the fact that they could put some letters together.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it
Is
would have
that
been
what's
cool
up?
had the letters been in Russian, though. I think that would have been cool. Now, us as the American audience, we might not have been able to read it,
yeah.
but you know how they do the translation? They should have just done the subtitle underneath saying Drago. I think it would have been cool had the letter been in Russian. That's what I would have changed. And then just
Is
put,
it spelled differently?
well, the letters look different in Russian. I think the lettering looks different. I would have to do Google Translate, maybe the same, or maybe it is the same. Yeah, good point. Maybe it doesn't look different. True. So again, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Why do people listen to this show? If I don't even know what I'm talking about as a host, I have no idea.
So we're missing Kyle, who has the
He's the
Russian
brains.
friend.
He's the brains.
Yeah, well, he knows a lot of things about a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't know anything. And when you and I get together, it's usually a gong show.
Hey, there's an audience for that too.
That's true. Kyle always comes in, well, as it turns out, there was a Russian World War II. The bumper did it. Here, Louise in our Discord is helping us out. He says, during Operation Barbarossa in World War II, the Ukrainian people actually welcomed the Nazis as liberators. And they were immediately received a rude awakening to that. Oops. Hey, come in, guys. Come on in. Oops.
Rude awakening indeed.
Все, что нам осталось,
Another guy starts talking, somebody to the left of the girl that's maybe with Drago, says, now all you need to do
в этот раз ты
is bring the belt home this time, right? Oof. A little bit of a dig there.
привезешь назад пояс, так?
But Yvonne Drago nods and said, yes, we'll do this. We'll take care of this.
Victor is not making eye contact. He's just kind of looking away. He seems less than impressed.
He wants to knock that
With
guy's
this
block
whole-
off. We got to knock his block off. All right, so now a guest off camera walks in. Do you remember this moment when Brigitte Nielsen walked in?
I about died. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I knew, of course, Sly was nowhere near the set. I think they probably filmed this in Russia to keep her as far away from Sly as possible.
In Russia.
It was filmed on location in Russia, just so there was no chance they'd run into each other. But I thought it was still pretty cool that she was on in this movie. I'm not going to lie to you. I would have thought it would have been harder to get a resurrected Apollo Creed back in this film than it would have been to get Brigitte Nielsen in this film, honestly.
Why?
Well, because they're just a divorced couple. She had nothing good to say about Sly. I think in 2018, she gave an interview where she said that Sly wasn't a very good husband. I'm just surprised this happened.
Oh, from that perspective, God, I don't have a whole lot of faith in humanity. I just assumed it's not like she has a whole lot going in her career right now, so I assumed she would welcome an opportunity to be in a big film
Oh,
event.
she would have taken anything. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, she has taken anything. Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't. Oh, boy. I didn't mean it like that. I mean to say, like, she has, she was on that celebrity rehab show. She hooked up with Flavor Flav.
Oh, the Surreal Life is what
Okay,
that was.
Surreal
It
Life.
was the biggest train wreck, and it was amazing. Yeah.
But this was a big moment. This was cool because this really brings Rocky 4 See, Creed 2 really is Rocky 4 Part 2. So this really brings it full circle having her here. And I was very excited. So at the end of the day, as much as I was surprised that she was there, I was actually very excited. So she's walking in. Victor sees his mom. It's like, oh my gosh. Yvonne quickly wipes his mouth to make sure he has no food in his mouth, make sure he's presentable to his ex-wife.
Stands up.
Yeah, he stands up for her. I don't think I've ever stood up for a lady at a table, to be honest. I don't think I've ever done that.
It looks like all the other men are standing, so except for Victor, he remains seated.
Yeah, that's great. Good point. Yeah, all the men stand up except for Victor. And remember when Apollo stood up for Adrian in Rocky 4? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did she look to you?
Well, so quite good. I mean, she still has amazing bone structure.
Right, of course.
Very few women can pull that haircut off, and she rocks it. Forever.
Yeah.
I love her haircut. Do you think she looks good?
I think she looks.
Her
Yeah,
age?
yeah. She looks fantastic. She's almost like 55 or 57 in this film. But what I like about her too, I'm sure she's got quote unquote work done, but she still has a natural aging to her, which I like. She looks her age, which is fine, but she looks good at her age. And I'm looking at the facial reactions there of Victor and Yvonne, and I stand corrected. They had no idea she was going to pop in. Louise thinks she looks like. Sorry, go ahead. Say that again.
Oh no! What did Louise say? What did he say?
Louise. Jeez. Louise says she looks like Skeletor. No, that's not fair.
I think I know what he means by that. Remember when Madonna went through a Skeletor phase?
Oh, Madonna. No, Madonna looks horrible. She looks like a puffed up Miley Cyrus. It's terrible.
Oh, this was like 15 years ago. She got so
Thin?
rail thin, but
yeah.
muscular too. Anyway.
Madonna
I
in the
feel
Like a Prayer video, prime.
Oh, well,
Oh.
that early 90s was
Yeah,
probably.
1990, Madonna's prime.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, Victor can't contain himself.
He's not happy that she's there. You know, he's not in a private setting right here. I don't think he's very happy that she's there at all. We'll find out that he's not, but he's definitely uncomfortable, doesn't know what to say, and she's about to say, hello, Victor.
I want to give Florian more credit because he's doing a lot here. This is probably one of his first acting roles. It's mostly nonverbal, and he's doing an incredible job showing how uncomfortable he is and that he's just wanting to crawl out of his skin. Like, he's so angry. They didn't know she was going to be there, and she walked right past them when she came in, didn't stop at them first to hug or say hello or anything. She walked all the way around, kisses her husband or whoever he is.
Maybe they're together. I think she's invited too. I think this was all part of the plan.
You know what would make it even better?
If Adrian walked in?
Oh my God. Well, that too. But if the guy who was hosting this that she just kissed and said hello to was the Michael Pataki guy that she shared the smoke with in Rocky 4. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. If they shared a smoke at the table here together as well.
I don't know if he's still alive.
He might. That would have been. Yeah, they just have the whole gang. And then Gorbachev walks in and she says to her ex-husband, Yvonne, you must be proud. Yeah, it didn't take long. Victor is not happy. He's getting up to leave. Yvonne looks troubled. He gets up to follow his son out. And then Ludmilla Drago, she's kind of like, okay, well, that didn't go according to plan. But maybe she's not that surprised either.
Victor, все эти люди собрались здесь ради
So Yvonne says, all of these people are here for us.
нас, ради тебя.
For you. And he goes, these people?
Эти люди
They're the ones who ran you out. Good point.
выгнали тебя из России. Что мы здесь
And he goes on to say, why are we here?
делаем? Строим будущее.
Then Yvonne says, to build a future.
Я даже не знаю
And then Victor says, I don't even know that woman. Oof.
эту женщину. Она нам
She may as well be a stranger.
чужая. Она бросила
She left you.
тебя. Они
They
все
all did.
отвернулись
Abandoned you.
от тебя. Стыдили
Shamed you.
тебя.
And then Yvonne yells, I lost.
Я
Ooh, what are thoughts about this scene?
There's a lot to unpack. Do you feel like there's been any contact since she left? There were photos of the family when Victor was maybe like a toddler or preschooler maybe. So
I think we're to assume that the baby was born. So she stuck around long enough to have the baby. But I think between the exile and the baby raising maybe or whatever, I think she left him when he was a toddler. That's the timeline I'm thinking. And so I don't think he's seen her in 25 years.
Or spoken to? You don't think
no, nothing.
She just left.
Yeah. He knows her by pictures and stuff. Yvonne, as well, of course, knows her. But I would say this is the first time they've seen them. I've seen her probably in 2 decades. At least 2 decades.
Yeah, that's insane. I feel so much for Victor here and Yvonne. This is why this movie, it should be called The Dragos. It's so great in that. So you feel for Victor because, yes, this woman left. He's being now used as a pawn to try and win back glory for his father. And his father is being manipulated yet again to like fall for this. And
he's desperate.
He's like a beaten dog. I deserve all of this. I lost. Like, are you kidding? And then this poor kid didn't want to be there, but he's fine. I'll show up, Dad. And then this woman, all she has to say is, hello, Victor, in 25 years. I can't imagine this poor Victor's life has been horrifying.
I agree. Victor is a victim in all this, victim of his father living through him, victim of a abandoned mother, an unloving father who's trying to relive his failures through his son. And of course, Yvonne sees these conglomerates or whoever these people are as a way for him to get honor and prestige back into his home country. Victor being just a little bit younger and a little bit less naive than maybe his father was at this age, saying, dude, these people don't care about you. Why are we caring about them? Why are we putting ourselves in this awkward situation? This whole thing is awkward. It's one thing for us to go after the belt and fight, that's fine, but butting up with these people who disgraced us is actually, he doesn't find it honorable. He finds it disgraceful himself.
Well said.
Hey, that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Ya peligro.
Yvonne says, I lost,
No tiene
but you won't.
peligro.
No pressure.
So they're doing a very good job acting. And I would think at this point, unlike the Rocky IV Russian speaking in the film, I think they're probably speaking more accurate Russian in this film. I would say in 2018 when this was filmed and released, they're probably a little bit more, let's get the dialogue right, because people know Russian and people will say very quickly on the internet that they're speaking gibberish. And I didn't hear any of that kind of talk. So whether their enunciation is correct or spot on, who cares? But I would assume they're probably speaking Russian dialect for real here. Both these actors, that's not their language. I mean, I know Dolph is Swedish, I believe, and Florian, I believe, is Hungarian or Bulgarian, one of the two. Bulgarian?
I thought he was German.
Oh, maybe it's German.
Did I make that up?
Well, either way. They're not speaking their native tongue. And to not be able to speak in your native tongue, or act, I should say, in your native tongue, it's a little bit more difficult, right? And I think they're doing a really good job enunciating and emoting, memorizing their lines in a different language, but emoting what we're reading as in English. They do a great job here. And in our Discord people agree that the Dragos steal the show in every scene they're in of this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It should be called The Dragos. Yeah, I think so too, in how difficult it would be combining the getting your lines right with the emoting and the foreign language. It kind of brings to mind an acting great. Not that they're on par with Bobby D, but he spoke Italian. He learned Italian for Godfather 2. And I don't know if he had any English lines. And he's known as one of the best that there is. So if they're doing a up job, these two.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. All right, so the next scene, we have Adonis sitting in his parked car outside the Delphi Boxing Academy, looking at his father's mural on the window there of the gym. And he's sitting in his father's car, the Mustang that he won back from the fight at the beginning of the film. And he's humming and hawing as he's looking at this, sitting in his car. He's in his head. Tony Jr. knocks on the window.
It's good.
Just maintaining, man. Long time no see. What's up?
The next time somebody asks me how I'm doing, I'm just going to say, just maintaining, man. I want to see what they say. Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Just maintaining, man. Long time no see. What's up? I got to remember that one.
Just maintaining.
You're working on a car or something, or the pipes at home? What are you maintaining?
Nah, man, just been caught up. The house, baby. You know how it is.
You know how it is. What, does Tony Jr. have a baby? Does he have a house? You might not have any idea how it is.
That's a good point. We don't know anything about Tony Jr.'s private life, if he's married and has kids or not.
Yeah. Maybe that was the insinuation right there, what Adonis said, that he's got a wife and kid at home. Sure, that's fair.
Yeah, how Bianca doing?
It's good. It's good.
Good.
So So it's kind of like an awkward conversation, but it's probably their first conversation since the hospital, I would assume.
Yeah, a lot of small talk.
It's guy talk too. Nobody wants to share their feelings, really. But this is a big step for Adonis that he's actually at the gym. So we know that he drove to the gym. At least he drove there. He's parked there. Maybe he did have intentions of going inside the gym, and now Tony just caught him before he apparently about to go inside the gym.
Listen, man, I've been meaning to hit you up, though.
So there you go. They haven't spoken. He says, I've been meaning to hit you up, though. So they haven't spoken since the hospital.
Commissioner want to know who we plan to fight next.
So this is big. So the commissioner, the boxing commissioner, is like, hey, this champion is Adonis. When's he going to be healed up, and when's he going to be ready to defend that title? He's holding the title. People want it. You know, that's his job. He's got to defend it, or he's got to give it to somebody else.
How much time has passed, though?
I don't think a lot. The baby's not born yet. We haven't seen it yet, have we? Okay, so he's just saying the baby as in Bianca carrying the baby. So that's why he's asking how Bianca's doing. So she's near delivering the baby. Let's say a month since his time in the hospital. He's out of the hospital because he was only going to be there for a couple days. So he's mended at home. He's able to drive now. His eyes aren't puffed up anymore. So let's just say give it a month.
And the commissioner already wants to know, huh?
Maybe 2 months, but that would be you got to figure people are like, because it takes time to train. And so it's like, hey.
That's true. You got to get something set. Yeah, good point.
Are we going to have a fight in 4 months? How much does this guy need to train and get ready? Like, we got to set something up. It's money, right? But it's money not being made because championship fights bring in the biggest draws, right?
Go. But you got to fight someone.
So he says, you don't have to fight Drago, but you have to fight somebody. It's your job.
You got to defend the belt. Otherwise, it's going to be vacated. I could set up a little, tune-up fight, kind of.
So he says here that he can set up a tune-up fight. Now, I guess I'm sure Kyle could speak to this, but I'm not a trainer or manager in boxing, but it seems like they can kind of do that. They was handpicked. What did he say? No, they weren't handpicked?
He says they was handpicked. Setups?
Oh, yes,
not setups. They were good fighters. But they weren't killers like this guy.
This guy will knock you to the mud, Rock.
He'll kill you to death in 3 rounds.
I know Rocky beat Clubber in 3 rounds, but I think he got knocked out in 2. But yeah, anyways, all that being said, yeah. So it looks like the trainer-manager kind of does have the ability to kind of like, we can get somebody we're pretty comfortable beating to get your confidence up. And it gives a chance for another fighter to get his confidence up, even though he knows he probably can't win. But hey, go up against the champ, just like Rocky did in part 1. You never know. Give the champion who's defending his title, who maybe needs to get his confidence up a little bit. Yeah. So Adonis doesn't seem too keen on any of this right now. He's not really saying anything.
Nah, you know what, man? Don't worry about none of that right now. Listen, just come on inside. Hit the bag, man. Warm up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna grab my stuff and I'm gonna meet you in there.
All right, man.
So do you think Tony Jr. knows at this point he's not coming in the gym at all?
Absolutely. Don't you think?
Yeah.
The way he said that.
All right, man. Yeah, he's like, all right, man. You're not ready. So he's not even ready to hit the bag yet, let alone fight.
Again, I just like Tony Jr., but he was trying to be all excited, like, hey, you gotta, I can set some little piddly something up, and he sees that Adonis is not able to like make a decision or process anything right now. And so then he changes his tune, like, it's all right, just come do a little workout. He's doing the right things, I think, as a manager. And then so much is unsaid in their little exchange here, which I think is a nice scene.
It is a nice scene, and I like Tony Jr. in this film. He's actually doing just fine as a manager. He's given his fighter time to heal, given some mental health time. He's not pressuring him too much. Hey, you're not ready for a fight? That's fine. Let's hit the bait. Baby steps. He's giving him some space here, but he's obviously feeling worried. His bread and butter is falling apart in front of his eyes, but he's not saying anything overtly pressuring or mean. Or Mickey certainly would have said, why don't you go in this guy hard like you did before? Like Mickey was doing that while his wife was in a coma. So Tony Jr. is definitely giving him some space here. Louise says, I was hoping you guys would hit us with some Rocky 3 dialogue. You'll never disappoint. Thanks, Louise. My impressions are terrible. Donald also confirms that it was inside of 3 rounds, but it did only last 2, so we're right about that. And he also said that overmatching certainly does happen.
Overmatching?
So the idea that the champion is more qualified than the challenger to kind of get his confidence or their confidence up or whatever. Yeah, it's a nice little shot here of Adonis looking at his father, and it's just it's kind of a silhouette of the back shoulder of Adonis as we see Apollo in the forefront. He's probably thinking, I'm not my father.
That's a great photo that they used for Apollo. I like Apollo that way, that version of Apollo also.
What was that from? Was that from?
I'm basing this on the hair because it had to have been like the first or second one.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a victory pose. I think, was this the moment where he puts his hands up in the air when he thought he won the fight before Rocky got up in the 14th round, or?
And then he looks disappointing.
Right after?
Looks kind of like that.
Doesn't that look like that shot there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Let us know in the comments below.
Your body weight into that glove. There you go. Lean in it.
So the dialogue you hear is Tony training some other fighter inside the gym, and then the shot outside the gym through the window is, of course, Adonis leaving, and Tony notices. All right, so now we got Rocky. Who's he on the phone with here? I forget. We'll find out.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about this. I think he's on the phone with the city about the broken light bulb.
Oh, yeah, like an old man.
Yes.
When you get older, you get obsessed with these things. Like, it's so important. You know, I've only got another 10 years on this planet, but gosh darn it, we've got to change that light bulb. You know, that's my focus now. I can't wait to get old like that, where I'm just worried about the light bulb outside my street. So he goes, yeah, I called you like 1,000 times. Of course, the Rocky math, it probably means 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Called you like 1,000 times. Yeah, it's about the light. How long? You want to be specific? Couple years? Yeah. I mean, how many guys did it take to screw in a light bulb? I'm not joking.
So they probably, are you joking right now? He's like, no, I'm not joking. So he's got a letter. It says here, Marianne Creed sent Rocky a letter.
You can read that?
Yeah, it's probably just clear on my side of the recording.
Oh.
So it says here, Marianne Creed, his thumb is over the address, but it looks like it's Barrow or Bureau Drive, something Hills, Cordova Hills, or some sort of, I can't tell the hills. But it says Mr. Rocky Balboa, 3900 something Avenue, Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Boy,
I can't read it.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
It's kind of cute how, not cute, but also very formal. I guess you could say that Marianne sends Rocky a letter. It says Mr. Rocky Balboa.
I kind of like this little exchange. I love in movies and TV shows, it's not all glitz and glam, and they show very real world things. Like he's on the phone talking to the stupid city about his light bulb, and he's just kind of walking around the house while he's doing it, going through his mail. Like it's just like something someone does. And then he's like, oh shit, something from Marianne Creed. What the hell?
Yeah, he says, can I call you guys back? So he knows this is important. It's probably the first letter he's ever gotten from Marianne. They probably don't exchange Christmas cards, these two.
Mm-hmm.
Can I call you guys back? Yeah.
So the back of the picture, it says, he still needs you, Marianne. And he's about to flip it over. And it's a picture of a baby. Ultrasound. Aw.
Cute.
He's like, I got her pregnant. I'm the dad. Wait a minute. I'm the father. Yo, Marianne, we did it.
I don't know. I like this. Like he's being given this opportunity or being pushed by Marianne to be like a grandpa, like a father and a grandpa.
Exactly.
Because he's not. For whatever reason, he's not with his own kid and grandson.
Yeah, so he's definitely emotionally adopted Adonis at this point in his life. So Marianne's reaching out to Rocky saying, look, he still needs you, not necessarily to be a trainer or manager, but his head is just not on right, and he's got a kid on the way. So whether he fights again or not, he needs you in his corner, because if he goes in that ring, I don't want my son to go in the ring again unprepared. He needs you. So one way or another, he needs you as a father figure, as a trainer, as both, because there's a kid on the line now. And that's what changes Rocky's mind, not just revenge for a rematch, but like, oh, okay, if Adonis is going to fight Victor again, or anybody, really anybody again, he's not ready. And I got to help him out because he's got a kid on the line now. Mm-hmm. Man, Louise, that's funny. He said, I guess Adonis doesn't use condominiums either.
Oh, that line will never get old to me. I love it.
Donald says that the Mr. on the letterhead implies that she's still resentful, and he likes that. Formal, yeah. I get the resentment part, maybe just very...
Less familial?
Yeah. But at the same time, she says he still needs you, and she signs it Marianne, not Mrs. Creed. Or they're just old-fashioned that way. They just write letters that way, Mr. Rocky Balboa. You know how people that age, that's how they write letters. So obviously he doesn't talk to Adonis because he had no idea they were pregnant.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Did he?
Well, I was wondering that before, too, but Bianca was, like, pretty pregnant.
No, but he would have had to see her on the national television show. I don't know. I don't know if Adonis ever met... because he's acting like, wow. He's looking at the photo like,
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right, even though it'd be weird that he didn't know.
yeah. The way this is being filmed,
yeah,
the way they're
yeah,
showing
yeah,
us
yeah.
as an audience, it looks like we're seeing Rocky
Yeah.
discovering the pregnancy news for the first time. Now, did you want to stop it here?
To you, Ryan.
I don't want to necessarily, but we're nearing the hour mark, and that's good. We're keeping these episodes nice and tight. I think Kyle might want to be here for the next discussion because we'll tease it. Next week will be Rocky's at Marianne Creed's mansion house, and I think this is where Adonis will be surprised by seeing Rocky there too. That might be a nice little scene to talk about there. So
Yeah.
that was fun. Some fun stuff. Things are picking up a little bit because it's soon after this meeting, they're going to go to training and blah, blah, blah. The baby will be born, then just the fight. Still 57 minutes, including credits left in the film.
I cannot. It's so I can't really tell if our listeners like us going off the rails or not. Seemingly, that's why we're not getting through very much of the movie very fast, is because we go off on tangents.
Well, yeah, I think we got through 10 minutes of film in this episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, look, we don't have 1,000 listeners every episode. I'm telling you that right now, or anything close to it. However, the people that do listen really like it, though. That's the thing. I want to keep doing the format that we're doing for those listeners. Actually, Chester, he sent me a Facebook message, so I appreciate that. I believe it was Facebook or Twitter. He wanted to say that he's really enjoying our coverage. That's right from the horse's mouth of one of our listeners. Just straight up said, hey, guys, I love your coverage of Creed 2. So people are enjoying it that are listening. The ones that do listen, I think, are enjoying our coverage. I think if we were to rush it or change it for the sake of what, I don't know. The ones that are listening are already enjoying it. So
Good.
yeah, for sure.
Good.
But we are going to be ending this show. I think we're over halfway now of this season. It's kind of weird. I guess I'm kind of dragging out a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you because when Creed 2's over, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done this I'm done this series. It's over. I'm done going the distance. I'm kind of sad. And so there's a part of me that's dragging it out a little bit because, yeah.
You will have gone the distance.
That was the whole goal.
Yeah.
Was to go the distance, yeah. I mean, I've had some Tommy Morrison guest hosts, and my brother was the Apollo Creed, and he died halfway through the series. But now I've got you guys, and it's been great. I appreciate it, really. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I don't know why I'm giving a farewell, but I just feel like I guess it's hitting me that we are past the halfway
Yeah.
point of this season, and then we are going to close this podcast for good, and we're going to move on to the Rambo series. So I'm kind of excited for that too, though. I'm not going to lie. Oh, I want to say, leave us a review on iTunes. That really helps. Spotify does reviews now too. So Spotify and iTunes, guys, if you listen to us on Twitter, retweet the episodes. It does help. All it is a retweet. Give us a like on Twitter as well when we post, or on Facebook. It just gets the word out a little bit and shows that you like us a little bit. That's it. Well, Katie?
Ding, ding.